Hi, God Lily back here again. Merv Kim, welcome to our home and welcome to our life. This is one of the writings that God gave me and I wrote, and Merv put the music to it. Merv Kim put music to it, and you'll hear that in the background. Where is the end? That's one of my songs that we was messing around and we put together. And the Spirit had worked with us beautifully in many occasions. God following me. You know, the Spirit gave me that song because I felt confused at the time when I wrote it, because I felt like I had stopped following God and started following man. And a lot of times we do that. I was in church and had started becoming real religious. Yeah. Lower. Turn it up. That's Merv Kim on the keyboards. He is really good at the keyboards. Later on, we're gonna let you hear some of him and one of his God friends. You're sorry. Please, God, let me change this old world that I'm in. You said if I could see it, you would hasten it to appear. Yeah. I see wisdom, knowledge, understanding too. Tell me, God. I see a world of positiveness, peace, joy, and love. Now I can see all men being free. I see love for my fellow man. Union and unity throughout the land. Black, white, brown. All holding hands. Yellow, red man, all holding hands. All right. Now I know this is my new beginning. And you, God, are in the movie. Yep, I wrote that, how long ago was that? Maybe about 10 years ago or so? Maybe longer than that. Longer than that. Alright, so we're going to get back to when God created man in his own image. And now we're in Genesis chapter 2. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day of all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because it is in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. These are the generations, verse 4, these are the generations of heaven and earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the heaven and earth. Now, this is the generations of the heavens and earth. That means nothing else has been created since then. This is the generation of heaven and of earth. Everything in heaven created, everything in earth. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth. And every herb in the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to tilt the ground. So now, even after he did all this wonderful creation, he created these gods, this God, male and female, to multiply. And I was told that they multiply like 100 kids a day. And he still didn't have nobody to tilt the ground. I mean, what do you think the purpose was that he didn't have anybody to tilt the ground, to work the ground, to do any labor, hard labor? Because if you were created like as God, I know if I'm created just like my Creator, and I know that He thinks and things appear, why would I tilt the ground? I would just think it and then let it appear too and speak it, just like my Creator did. And that's the problem. That's what was happening. So God wanted to see something. The God that created this wanted to see something different. And so he decided to create a man to work the ground. And that's when he created a garden to place the man in that he created from the dirt. Okay. Now we're at the 6th verse. But there went up a mist from the earth, and it watered the whole face of the earth. So it had not even rained on the earth. It was a mist that came up like a sprinkler system. And the Lord formed a man of the dust, of the ground. Now he decides, okay, I ain't gonna speak nothing like that, make a god. I'm gonna make him a different type of thing, like an avatar, maybe a robot, what you would call them. And he makes man from the dust. And the Lord God formed the man from the dust and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And then he had to breathe into his nostrils of this man the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And if you ever watched the movie Avatar, isn't that what it's like when they first wake them up? Okay? Maybe God used technology for all we know. But this is what he did. He made him an avatar. And the Lord God planted a garden in the eastward. Now he plants a garden to put the man in. So, and out of the ground, the Lord God to grow every tree. He made every tree now to grow out the ground, and every fruit that was good. And he put that in the midst of the garden, the tree of knowledge and the tree of good and evil. The tree of life, also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge and good and evil. That's chapter 2, verse 9. And we're going to skip over all that what was in the garden, in there. And we're going to go on down to 17. Oh, 16. Okay. 15. And the Lord God took man and put him in the Garden of Eden and dress it and to keep it. Now he has an avatar, a little robot, whatever you want to call it, an android or a humanoid or a godnoid. He put it in the garden to dress it, to keep it, and watch it and see what he's doing, like a virtual reality world. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but not of the tree of knowledge and good and evil. You can even eat from the tree of life, but you can't eat from the garden of knowledge, good and evil. And I know people wonder, why can't you have that? Well, because in the beginning he made God, and God did the same thing he did. So he didn't want no more gods. It's like your children. You want to see what they do when they grow up. You don't want them to be born grown. You want to act just like you. You want them to grow into things and learn from their experiences and stuff like that. And that's how God would think, because that's how he made us to think. So, Adam and Eve didn't have any knowledge of good or evil. And the Lord God said, it is not good. Oh, okay. And then he said, he commanded man, saying, you can have of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge or of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. And the Lord said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmate for him. And we're going to take another break, and I'll be right back because it's getting deeper and deeper.